me a second here, America. I mean, I know John Edwards is a scumbag. I'm just trying to figure out how much of a scumbag this guy is. I mean, let me elaborate in case you didn't get the memo. National Enquirer ran a story a couple of weeks ago about former Democratic presidential candidate's affair and the alleged illegitimate child. I'm willing to give him the benefit of the doubt, you know, even though my gut was like, scumbag. I said at the time, we should consider him innocent until proven guilty. That's the way America works. I have to tell you, getting that story on the air 2-3 weeks ago, you got to be kidding me, right? All the flack I got from every corner. Everybody's like, oh, my gosh, you are a scumbag yourself. And all I was saying back then was, there's only one black hat here. It's either Edwards for cheating on his cancer-stricken wife or the Enquirer for falsely reporting that he did. So here's the point tonight. What a surprise. The Enquirer got it right. John Edwards is a scumbag. Who saw that one coming? But worst of all, I don't think this story is over yet. And here's how I got there. Once John Edwards knew that he was caught, he chose to confess last Friday. You know, while you and everybody else on the planet watching the Olympics, yeah, he was confessing. And now that he's fessed up about the affair, again, the one he had, you know, on his wife while she was struggling with cancer, Edwards is still denying that the woman's baby is his. Okay, let's give him the benefit of the doubt. America, here's what you need to know tonight, or at least help me figure out. Let's just say that that baby in question isn't the baby of John Edwards. And it's the baby of one of his close friends and campaign workers, because he says it is. So as I read that, that means that not only it was John Edwards having an affair, but he was sharing his mistress with a friend? And by the way, let's ask this question. How much campaign money went to this mistress as job payment? And why, as the Enquirer reports, is some mystery man friend of Edwards paying this woman $15,000 a month? Is it tithing because she's so spiritual? David Perell is the editor-in-chief of the National Enquirer. He joins me now on the phone. David, let me ask you this, because this was my premise. I said, there's no way that the National Enquirer is so stupid, and you would have been the guy who made this decision, when a reporter walked into your office and said, hey, I got all this stuff, and it's only on one of the most powerful trial attorneys in the country, you had to say at that point, you either have to have everything lined up, or you're one dumb SOB.
Well, you can be sure that before we published anything about, as you say, one of the most prominent trial attorneys in the country, we made sure that all the T's were crossed and all the I's were dotted.
Okay, so is my question here about sharing the mistress, is that legitimate? Because it either has to be his or somehow or another his friend having sex with the mistress at the same time. Actually, I don't see that as being a better option.
Actually, it's a little more nefarious than that. Our sources tell us the real Hunter never had a sexual relationship with Andrew Young. He was merely her caretaker when she was pregnant. They stashed her around the corner from Andrew Young in a gated community in North Carolina. That's when we first found her, when she was 6 months pregnant.
Is Andrew Young the guy that she apparently, because he said that it was his baby, and then like he had her over with the wife and kids and they had dinner and everybody got along and like, hey.
Exactly. Concocting the story that it was his baby was simply a last-minute ploy to try to stop us from publishing our original story about the affair.
So who's the third friend? Because I wish I had friends like this that would pay people $15,000 a month. Because hey, who's the other friend?
Fred Barron, the prominent attorney in Dallas and former finance chair of the Edwards campaign.
Huh. You know what I find ironic? When I thought that Obama couldn't have worse judgment than he did, I found out this weekend that John Edwards was being considered as an attorney general for the Obama campaign. And I thought, how long is it going to be before Obama says, that's not the John Edwards I knew? That's weird. So where does this story turn to next?
This story now turns to, number one, John Edwards' continuing contact with his mistress, and number two, the cover-up and money trail.
Okay, she didn't, is it true that Mrs. Edwards didn't know that John was going to the hotel that night where you guys caught him?
That is true. And when John Edwards then tells you that, well, I decided to call my wife the next day and tell her, I think you have to look at that in context of, well, of course, because he encountered National Enquirer reporters and he knew it was going to be on our website within a matter of hours.
Yeah.